Hello, my learners, you're most welcome. This is Education Online. I am teacher Olonya Agnes Okot, the teacher of English language. Today, I'm going to teach you English language for Senior 1 and Senior 2. In today's lesson, my dear learners, we are going to look at what we call question tags and short responses. Question tags and short responses. Right. In English language, we have only two types of questions. In this case, we have what we call question tags, and there is what we call ordinary questions. These are the two types. One, ordinary question. Ordinary question. Then we have what we call question tags. Question tags. Question tags. For today, my dear learners, we are going to ignore the first type of question, this one here, the ordinary question. We will look at it in the next lesson. Let us concentrate on the second type of question, which is called question tag. Now, what is the difference between question tag and ordinary question? This one here, my dear learners, it is geared towards what we call information. Information. If you want to get information, this is the type of question you should ask. Example, who is the headmistress of Juba High Secondary School? There you need to know, you are looking for information about the headmistress of that Juba High Secondary School or Juba High School in that case. But if you want to ask question tag, this means you already have some information, but your motive is only to confirm or to emphasize. Look at this. If you say, Miss Olonya is the teacher of English. In this case, you already have some clue or information about Miss Olonya. Miss Olonya, in that case, is a teacher of English. Now, if you are asked to apply the tag, you will only do it to confirm or to emphasize. For instance, in this case, it will be, doesn't she, meaning, is she not that teacher of English? And the response must be, in this case, positive, just confirmation. Therefore, the response will be yes. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. See? Just confirmation. Unlike in the first case where you would have said, who is the headmistress of Juba High School? Who is the headmistress? The headmistress of Juba High School. Of Juba High School. In this case, you don't know completely. You're looking for information. Here you are confirming Miss Olonya to be the teacher of English. And the answer is yes, she is. Just that. So with this, I now I can now go ahead and believe that you know what a question tag is. So question tag in general is this type of question we ask for confirmation and emphasis. Right. Let us go on, and I showed to you some of the rules that we use when we are constructing sentences with question tags in them. So you can write down there as your subtopic altogether. Rules. Rules applied. Rules applied when using question tags. When using question tags. My dear learners of Senior 1 and 2, let me tell you that in any human language, there are set rules, and these set rules are set by a grammarian or the users of the language. Sometimes it is set by the linguists or the people who studied language like us, like I and other teachers of English language or of any language. Also, we have rules in English language. Some of the topics or most of the topics under grammar, you cannot do without applying some of the rules. Even question tags, we use some rules. Now, let me show you how the rules are developed and how they are used. One, the rule is based on the person. Number one, rule one is based on the person. The persons. In this case, my dear learners, in English, when we talk of the person, we are not talking of people. We are talking of pronoun and nouns. So it is not the people of Gudele, the people of Rumbek, the people of Akobo, the people of Kwajok, or the people of Magui. But here we are talking about pronoun and nouns. Pronouns or nouns. Or nouns. Now, how are the rules developed under pronouns and nouns? We have majorly only three persons in English language. The first one is the first person. The first person. The first person. The first person can be singular. Singular. Or even plural. Who are these first person singular? Here we are looking at pronouns like she, he, it. Okay, my dear learners, we are saying the rules are developed from one, the person, and these persons, we say they are divided into three major parts. The first is called the first person. Can be singular or plural. When it is singular, then it means that person is one. In this case, it is I. I is singular form of the first person. For instance, I am the teacher of English language. I am going to Rumbek tomorrow. This one is I. But in the plural, you can talk of we. We. It means the person who is participating in the action, and it is first-hand, giving first-hand information. That person is within, is participating, and is the eyewitness of all the activities going on. That is what we call first person singular and plural. Then there is number two, which we call the second person. still can be divided into singular and plural. To is second person. Second person. Second person, still singular and plural. And plural here. When it is singular, this second person means the person who is affected and is not within, is not having first-hand information, or is not carrying out the activity. For instance, you are not here, but you're listening to me. I am here, I'm the first person carrying out this activity of teaching, but you are getting the effect of my teaching. You become the second person. Then you, singular, one person. But you can also say you. I can say you senior too, meaning you are very many. Still it will remain you. So in both cases, it is you and you, even if it is plural or singular. Then we have the last person in English language. It's called the third person. Third person. The third person. The third person can still be singular or plural in nature. Or plural. Now, when the third person is singular, we talk of two sexes, the males and the females. Then we divide into three. The male for human is she, the female rather is she, then the male is he. Now we have the third part, which is it. It can be both male and female, so long as it is non-human. Anything which is not human, whether male or female, it is it. That is singular form of the third person. Then the plural form, which means very many participants who are not with us now, and they are not under second person, not even first person. Now you call them they. They. Even you can say them. This one means they are unknown. For instance, you can say, they said they will come here. But if I ask you who are they, you may not be able to tell us. So, unknown, that person. Now, in this case, plural. Right. Now, how do we now develop the rule from persons? We say rules can be developed from persons. In question tag, when you should follow the rule, when the person, in this case the person is this one, when the person or when the person is singular, the verb must be singular. Must be singular. For example, look at this. You like English. You like English. Let us write it down. You like English. In this case, we don't know whether this you is singular or plural. And when second person in English, you use plural form of the verb. Now, in this case, you cannot say, you like English, doesn't you? Because you think it is one person. Even if it is one, use plural form of the verb. In this case, our verb will change from is to are, which is an auxiliary, a helping verb. So instead of saying you like English, then instead of saying doesn't you, you will say don't you, from the word do. Do is a plural form of the word does. So you will say don't you, don't you. Now, what will be our response now? Because we said this type of question, which is question tag, is for confirmation. You will have to confirm in the positive. I'm going to show you when we come to that. When the statement is positive, in this case, the tag must be negative and the response positive. So it will be, don't you? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Now you see, instead of yes, you does. Now let us see when the plural, when the noun or pronoun is singular in this case. Let us see when it is singular in this case or plural in that case. We are still under the use of person, and we said one rule under it is when the plural form of the noun or pronoun, you must make the verb plural in nature. Now we have seen when let us see when it is singular and we see the verb. She is teaching English. Teaching, she's teaching now. Now this one, she is under third person singular. Only one person is teaching, and it's for a female. Here the verb here is the word is. It's an auxiliary. It's helping this main verb teaching. So we will form from the auxiliary is, and we change it. This action will be, she is teaching English. Is she not? But now we write it in short. Isn't she? Isn't she? Then you can still put and say the response. This one means, is she not teaching English? Isn't she? Then you come and say, yes, she is. She is. Yes, she is. So you can see plural form of the noun must correspond to the plural form of the verb. Right. That is rule 1 under person. Then let us see rule 2. Rule 2 in this case. The tense. It is developed from the tense. The first one is developed from person, but now it is developed from the tense. In this case, the form of the tense in the statement must be adhered to in the tag and also the response. For instance, if the tense is past, the tag plus the response must also be past. Here, past tense corresponds to another past. Then also past form of the tag of the tag and the response and the response. Right, let us see an example here. They are learning. They are learning English now. They are learning English now. Now, what type of tense is this? This is a present term because of this auxiliary are, which is in the present form, and the main verb learning, because of this ing, it is still continuing. Their learning process is continuing. Now, in this case, your tag must also be in the continuing form, in the progressive form. You will come and say, you use the auxiliary to develop the tag by saying, aren't they? Aren't they? Meaning, are they not? Aren't they? Then you come here and put the response. Now, the tag is negative, and the response must be now positive. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. What if the term is already past? Will you still maintain this? Yet we said past must correspond to past form of the tag and the response still. Now let us see when the term is past already, but not progressive, not even present in this case. She will be there. Now this term will is the future form. It is not past, not even progressive, not present, but present. It is in future. Will show something which will happen in the future. Now your tag must also be in the future form. Look for the negative of the word will, which will be won't. Now you will come here and say, instead of saying will she not, you will say won't she? Won't she? Then you come here and put the response. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. If it is past in this case, okay, you can say it cried out loud. Now, what type of form of the verb is this? Cried is already a past form of the verb to cry. Therefore, your tag must be past in nature. Now you will come here and observe it is under third person singular. And you will come and say, instead of saying is, now you will say from the word do, you will create a past and say, didn't it? Did it not? That's what we are saying. Didn't it? Didn't it? Did it not cry out loud? In other words, then you will come and say, yes, it did. You don't even bother yourself by saying, yes, it did cry. It did cry. You will just say, yes, it did. That is all. So observe the tense, please. Be very careful with the tense while observing the persons. Past tense, past tag. First person must correspond to this and that. Then let us look at the third rule, which will also help us in the development of the question tags. Our rule 3 is the use of negative and positive. Here we are saying negation and affirmative. Number 3, negation. Negation just means negative. Negative and affirmative. Affirmative, which means positive in this case. Positive. Now, here the rule is when the statement is positive, the tag must be negative, then the response will come back to positive. It is like this. Negative statement is equal to positive tag and later negative response. Right. So you see, the trick is what you have started with must end the whole thing. Example. Now look at this. Look at some of this example. We were not in class. Now start from the analysis of the person. We is already third person. It is already second person plural, we. And you know what it means. Then where is the past tense of is the past participle rather of is being, was, were. Then not is already negative in class. Now that means our tag is going to be positive and negative response, but with observation of some of this rule. Then you will say you will come here and say, since it is negative, it is positive, you will say where instead of weren't. Where we were not in class. Where we, you want to confirm, were we really in class? But now the statement said we were not in class. Were we? Then you will come here and say, no, we weren't. You'll come back now to negative here. No, we weren't. Meaning we were not. No, we weren't. So you can see. Negative statement, positive tag, negative response. Now there is this one here. Positive statement, this time is the opposite of the upper one. Positive statement must correspond to negative tag, will be negative tag, and then the response must be now positive. You will come back. I told you the trick is copy the beginning at the end. Positive statement, negative tag, positive response. That is it. And most of these sentences that I was giving you were positive in nature. Now let us see maybe another simple one. I am tired. I am tired. Now the tag must be negative in nature. And observe I. I is first person singular in this case. So you should say, I told you, even if it is first person singular, you don't use singular form of the verb. You still use plural. Don't say, doesn't I? So you should use do. I am tired. So you will still come and say, don't I? Don't I? So you cannot use does I, but you will use plural of do. Even you can say, aren't I? Am I not? Instead of saying I am. So you will say, you turn this one into aren't. Aren't. It's even the most correct. It's better than even don't. I do it at 1. Don't I? But if it is am I not, you say aren't I? Aren't I? So it's even better than this one is the most correct. Then you come and put the response. The response in this case is going to be positive. Yes, I am. Yes, I am tired. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Now you can still, you should be able to follow this rule. Positive statement, negative tag, positive response. Here, positive statement, negative tag, positive response. That is it. That's how we should do it. With this, my dear learners, I believe when I come back next time, I will now show you how to use this rule in the construction of sentences. And I told you very clearly at the beginning that tag questions or question tags are this question which we use for confirmation. And I went on to tell you that we have short responses, and these short responses and the question tags are the feedback you give to confirm now. Then I gave you some rules. There are rules to be applied when using question tags. For instance, the rules are developed from 1, persons. And we say persons in English mean first person, singular and plural, second person, singular and plural, third person, still singular and plural. And I told you when the person is positive, when the person is plural or singular, must correspond to the form of the verb. Singular form of the verb must correspond to singular form of the pronoun or noun. Just like when it is plural, must be also plural in the noun or the pronoun. Then we went on to see rule 2, which we said it is developed from it is always developed from tense. We stated clearly, or I told you clearly, that if the tense is past, then the tag must also be past. If it is present, it must also be present. If it is future, the tense must also be future and the tag also future in that manner. Then we summarized it by looking at negative or negation plus affirmative. We said negative statement should have a positive tag and a negative response. Then when the statement is positive, then the tag must be negative and the response must be positive. That is what I told you about the rules of question tags. Next time we shall look at yet how to construct sentences using question tag. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Bye-bye for today.